Pick a Game Boy color palette to match the color of your device. Use a cheap hard drive case for your Mi Mini Plus. Use your RG353V as a little TV. Put your data frog in a baggie if you're gonna play in the shower. Don't do this. Well, why would you do that? What's wrong with you? Hi there, I'm TechDweeb, welcome. Today we're going to be looking at some amazing, super nifty tips for your retro handhelds. Some of these tips are easy beginner level stuff and some of them are for advanced, super top level TechDweebs. I have 100 freaking tips for you, so let's not waste any time and dive in, shall we? Picking a device can be a daunting task, so make sure to read reviews and watch lots of YouTube videos to see which one's best for your needs. These YouTube channels are awesome. But keep in mind that every reviewer has different opinions about what's good or bad or important or not, so take their advice with a grain of root beer. Don't watch goofy YouTubers who waste your time with a bunch of nonsense. Surely you have better things to do with your life. Try to think about what's really important to you. If you mostly want to play Super Nintendo, maybe don't bother getting a device that can play GameCube because you probably won't do much of that. Try to pick a device that's a good size and shape for the systems that you want to play. A widescreen device is nice for PSP, but if you're going to be playing mostly Pokemon, then a different shaped device would probably work better. Only buy a pocket-sized device if you intend to actually carry it around in your pocket. Likewise, don't buy a big device if you do plan on carrying it around a lot. The middle ground is always a good place to be. If you want to play a lot of a specific system, look for the perfect handheld for that system. My boy Retro Game Corps has a good video on this topic, linked below. I find it helpful to have a really cheap handheld on hand to use as a beater device when you want to have games but you don't want to have to take care of something fragile. If you want a handheld and you don't want to wait, check Amazon because you can usually find it there with free 2-day shipping, although you'll probably pay more. Websites like LitNXT offer great service and free worldwide shipping. I'll have some links to a few of my favorite handhelds from them in the thingy below if you're interested. AliExpress is usually the cheapest, but you need to learn to avoid the scams. Check out this video by my boy Retro Breeze if you want to know more about that. Being an early adopter is not always a good thing. Wait until a device has been out for a while before you pull the trigger because it might not be great, it might get fixes later, or something better might come along. Don't wait too long though, because there's always something better coming. Once you pick one, just buy it and be happy with it for a very long time because it's probably all you need. Don't keep games on your device that you're never gonna play. Delete the games from your device if you can, or delete them on your computer. Why not create a best of ROM set with only like 25 games for each system? That way it's not overwhelming if you're not sure what to play. You can always swap them out later too. If the ROM set that came with your device has numbers in front of the names and makes the order all weird, you can use a free program called Bulk Rename Utility to remove the numbers from the file names. If your device doesn't have a favorites function, you can add your own numbers in front of your favorite games. Some devices and software allow you to organize your ROMs into folders, so you can make folders for genres or any category that you want. You can often scrape the art for your games on your device. Emulation Station devices do this very well. You'll want to make a screen scraper account if you plan on doing a lot of scraping. It's free, but you can get more daily scrapes if you sign up for their Patreon. You can also scrape the art on your PC instead of your handheld using a program called Scraper. There are tons of amazing ports that you can install and run on many retro handhelds. Tools like Portmaster make it really easy to set up. Just hit up Google and search for the ports available for your device. You might find that there's quite a few that tickle your fancy. Don't forget that you can often run PC games, I'm talking about DOS games, on your retro handheld with good compatibility. Heroes of Might and Magic 2 on the Miu Mini? Sign me up for that. Some operating systems have a kid mode, so if you're gonna let your baby play Mario Bros, enable that so they don't mess up your retro toy. Some devices run Linux, and some run Android, and some run both. Check out this video linked below if you want to know the difference. Check to see if your handheld has custom firmware available. Sometimes it can be hard to track down, but a quick Google search usually will get you on the right track. Many devices have different firmwares available. Learn about each one, but the best thing to do is try them all and see which you like the best. If you want a device that comes preloaded with custom firmware, sometimes you can buy them ready to go. My most recommended handheld is the Mi Mini Plus with the preloaded Onion OS SD card from LitNXT. There's a link in the description below if you want to pick that one up, and check out out this video link below as well. If you're going to be flashing custom firmware, it's a good idea to have a bunch of spare SD cards so that you can go back and forth and try different ones. So buy a multi-pack to save money. Speaking of SD cards, if you're a little bit tech savvy, make sure to replace the SD card that came with your device with a good one. Once you tweak your build just right, back it up by ripping it to your PC. Check out this video link below if you need to know how to back up and clone your SD card for any reason. Also, get a good SD card reader if you don't have one, because that's something every TechDweeb should have. I'll have my favorite one linked below. Don't buy A2 SD cards for cheap devices. They can't make use of that speed, and you can save money by buying A1 cards instead. On emulation station-based devices, you can download themes to change the look of your front end. Ooh, fancy. Also, you can often customize the theme itself to change the way that your library looks when you browse it. Ooh, fancy again. Stickers are a cheap way to add some fun flavor to your handheld buddy. You can buy custom buttons and components from sellers on Etsy and stores like LitNXT. And did you know that you can paint your buttons or even your handheld itself? It's true. A can of spray paint is all you need. Just do one coat at a time with at least a day to dry between each coat, and then let the final thing dry for like a week before putting it back together. Another cheap way that you can customize your toy is to get a silicone sleeve. You can customize the colors on Game Boy games by picking different palettes in the settings. Matching the colors of your games to your device is always a fun thing to do. And you can even make your own Game Boy color palettes. Check out this video by my girl Crystal, link below, if you want to learn how to do that. Don't forget that you can also customize RetroArch itself. That's in the Settings, User Interface, Appearance section. Again, I like picking a color scheme that matches my device. Subscribe to TechDweeb because he'll tell you what's what about all the things. Don't know what to play? Ask around. I'm sure you know lots of people in your life who know good games that you've never tried. You can always hit up Google and search for the best games for whichever system that you want. You can mark those as favorites, and that can be your to-do list. This one's fun. Have an AI pick you some games. Ask ChatGPT or Bing AI to make you a list of games to try based on your preference. Welcome our new AI overlords into your life. Resistance is futile. There are lots of foreign games with fan translations, ROM hacks, and homebrew games that you can explore, which is a great way to discover good games that most people don't know about. It's easy to get sidetracked when you have access to a zillion games. Try not to play too many games at once. Just pick a good game with lots of content and stick with it for a long time. If you're playing a hard game that has a hard part, you can bind a hotkey to slow motion to help you out during those tricky parts. Also, you can bind a hotkey to fast forward so you can skip the boring cutscenes if you don't know how to read. I also like to bind a key combo to take a screenshot so I can save all my best gaming memories in a photo album that I can look through on my deathbed. RetroArch has built-in cheats. You can use that to cheat, give yourself God mode or infinite money or whatever. Not that I would ever do such things. You can also bind sound volume to RetroArch hotkeys, which is useful if your device volume increments aren't quite the right amount. If your game isn't running as well as you'd like, try a different emulator or core. Some work better than others for different games. There are lots of emulation options that you can adjust on each system in the RetroArch quick settings. Feel free to poke around if you like to tinker. Make sure to save your core overrides if you want them to stick around. Retro achievements can breathe new life into your favorite old games by offering up challenges. Think of it like a list of quests for your game. You can tether your device to your phone to be able to use your retro achievements on your handheld when you're ootin' a boot. You can set RetroArch to automatically save and load your state so that you can easily get right back into where you left off in your game when you load it. Enable incremental saving so that it'll save new states every time you save. And then you can go back to any point in the game that you made a save point for. You can also download save games off the internet. Want to start halfway through Chrono Trigger? Well, just hit up Google and you could probably do just that. The service called SyncThing can sync your saves across multiple devices. I don't have time to teach you about that right now. I'm definitely going to make a video on that at some point, but just Google it if you want to know more. Many handhelds have the ability to plug them into a TV or monitor to use them as a home console. Also, many handhelds allow you to connect up Bluetooth controllers. I have 4 of these mini 8-bit controllers that I bring with me on trips in case some 4-player Ninja Turtles arcade situations arise. Did you know that your favorite handheld can probably play movies? Load that thing up with Adventure Time and you'll have a little TV that you can carry around with you. You can also probably read ebooks on your handheld. It sounds a little weird, but come on, that's kinda cool. Be a hipster and read books on a Miu Mini. You know you want to. And most handhelds allow you to add MP3s to use it as a media player. I mean, it's not like we all have cell phones for that sort of thing, right? Don't be sad if your device gets a scuff or scratch. These things are meant to be used and enjoyed. Don't feel like you need to upgrade all the time. If you have a handheld that plays lots of stuff, just keep playing that stuff and having fun. Retro games are what we're here for, right? If the screen breaks on your retro handheld, if it has HDMI out and you can connect Bluetooth or wired controllers, turn it into a home console. If you're done with a handheld that you're never going to play with again, why not gift it to a friend or family member or some baby somewhere or like a homeless guy? Don't hang on to it. Get it out there in the world so someone else can love it. Don't panic if something goes wrong. Like if your device won't boot or whatever. Most problems can be resolved, so look around and ask for help if you get stuck. If your thumbstick isn't working in your game, open up the RetroArch settings, go to controls, open up the port 1 controls, and enable the analog to digital type set to left analog. Now you can use the left analog stick as if it was a D-pad. If there's something physical about your device you don't like if your buttons are too loud or your D-pad has problems with diagonals or whatever, search around. Chances are other people have noticed the same thing and have found an easy way to fix those things. Enable Tate mode and set up a custom control scheme to play vertical shooters vertically, as nature intended. Save your control scheme and you can load that whenever you play a vertical shooter. If you are experiencing input lag, make sure to turn off any shaders or filters because they can bog down a system. If you're still having problems with latency, head over to the latency settings and turn on run ahead. Set it for 1 or 2 frames, which should help. There are more latency settings in there that you can tweak around with if that doesn't do it for you. And if you're feeling nostalgic, you can apply a CRT shader in RetroArch to make your game look like it's running on an old TV for those authentic retro vibes. Integer scaling will make your games have perfectly balanced pixels, but the screen might end up being smaller because of that. You can apply a pixelate shader if you want the balance of integer scaling in a full screen kind of view, but it's not perfect. It is pretty close though. Check out this video link below if you want to know all about integer scaling and shaders. Other shaders do other stuff like make pixel games look smooth and high definition. Experiment with different shaders and find out what you like. You can apply upscaling to older 3D games like PS1 and Nintendo 64 to make them look a bit more modern if you're into that sort of thing. You can also enable bezels to fill out the sides of your screen and make it look all pretty instead of empty. If you want to use your handheld in dark environments, turn down your screen brightness. It's easier on your eyes and won't wake up your sleeping cat beside you. If your screen isn't dim enough on its lowest brightness, you can apply a dimming RetroArch video filter that will make it way dimmer. Some devices come with removable batteries. Find out if your device has easy battery swapping, if that sounds like a thing that you'd want in your life. Don't use high-speed, high-voltage chargers for cheap handhelds. Check out the charging requirements on the device itself and use an appropriate charger. A 5-volt, 2-amp charger will charge most devices and won't wreck any of them. Do not fully drain your devices. The best amount of charge is around 80%, but definitely don't let it drain below 20% because that can shorten your battery's life. If your battery calibration ever gets out of whack, open it up and unplug the battery for 10 seconds to reset it. Get a nice slim battery bank and a short cord and keep that with your device in like the case or whatever so that you can make sure that you never miss a retro gaming opportunity. If your device isn't super comfortable, consider getting a grip from Etsy or a website like LidNXT. This can add a lot to the comfort factor. If your device didn't come with a case, look at websites like LidNXT to see if you can buy a case. Or check Amazon for any random case that's about the right size. My Miu Mini case is an Amazon Basics hard drive case that I got for really cheap. And of course, there are some super unique cases that you can find on sites like AliExpress. Check out my BMO handheld pouch that is not a purse. No, it's not. Oh, don't even do it. Don't you dare call it a purse in the comments, you son of a bitch. And if you don't have a case, use a sock. Join a helpful Discord if you need a hand figuring stuff out or you just want to chat with like-minded nerds. Retro Handhelds is a good place to start, but you should really just make the TechDweeb server your home base. Link below. Don't spend ages endlessly tweaking every little thing and organizing games. It's a trap that is way too easy to fall into. Know when enough is enough and just freaking play your games and have fun. Make your own experience rather than listening to everyone all the time. Retro handhelds are highly customizable and maybe you'll come up with some cool way of doing stuff that nobody has thought of yet. and just enjoy your handheld and have fun playing games. That's what I want you to do. You have my permission. Don't lick your handhelds. They're not food, and they're probably dirty. And that brings us to the end. I hope you found this useful or at least entertaining. Please let us know in the comments below your personal favorite handheld tips that I didn't talk about. Share your wisdom with us, you glorious nerd. If you like this video, there will be a few more videos popping up on the screen for you to check out in just a moment, but that's it from me for today. I'm TechDweeb, thanks for watching, bye bye!